Go for it, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Dr. Dawn Wamwo, and I'm running for Dublin School Board to lead transformative change. I'm a mother of two amazing sons raised in Union City by a mother who was an educator for 29 years and a sister who followed as an educator and administrator as well. I took a different path in my educational pursuits to become a physician and healthcare advocate with a desire to heal others. My path included 27 years of education. This experience gave me exposure to education on many levels, which provided great insight into what works and, equally important, what doesn't. Given that I come from a family of educators, I have spent a lot of time with each of them debating and brainstorming about issues with schools and potential solutions. I value and respect teachers. They are the fabric of America. I frequently engage and contribute to teachers and administrators as part of my active engagement in my two sons' education and school affairs. I was raised to serve. During my 16 years as a doctor, I have not just cared for hundreds of thousands of patients, but I have listened to my patients and their genuine concerns about issues stemming from the educational system. They worry about their children in the uncertain times of the pandemic, issues surrounding social justice and equity, and how to navigate education technology. As a physician who cares deeply for people, it's natural that the overall health and wellness of our community is paramount to me. This is another calling of service to my community. I will bring a broader and more diverse perspective with an unbiased opinion. As a member of the community and as a person that came from humble beginnings, I care about all students being given every possible opportunity to excel. If I was not afforded those opportunities, I would not have reached my full potential and fulfilled my dreams. I bring that same passion and advocacy of fighting for my patients to fight for equitable educational outcomes, to protect the health of our community during this pandemic, to lead effective change for diversity and inclusion, and advocate for marginalized students. All students should be afforded equal opportunities regardless of race, socioeconomic status, and disabilities, including physical and learning disabilities. When asked why voters should support me, I want to share that many of my experiences in the medical profession, the challenges, the workflows, the team collaboration, all parallel the educational system. The role of trustee is governance with 4 key objectives, including hiring and evaluate the superintendent, oversee and approve budget, oversee facilities, and approve curriculum. Doing this role successfully requires problem solving, strong decision making, commitment to progress, and passion for the education of our youth and their future. In today's world, it is critical to have a governance team that is diverse and has a variety of skills that combined can achieve the above goals. My leadership experiences as a chief resident, chief of breast imaging, board member of 2 distinct budgeting boards, assistant professor, board member on the Commission on Cancer, steering committee member of Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity at Kaiser, on the Alameda and Contra Costa County Medical Association Health Equity Task Force, mother of 2 children, and a resident of this community, have prepared me for being a well-qualified candidate for assuming this role and position. I have demonstrated success with diverse recruitment, unifying departments to change how they deliver care from a divided approach to a larger unified team approach, managing million-dollar budgets and leading or participating with teams to meet goals that can impact the wellness of tens of thousands of families in our community. I have effectively redeveloped the way we deliver care to breast imaging patients and reduced the number of visits from 6 to 2 for a woman to find out if she has cancer. I took us from the bottom of Northern California, number 16 out of 16, to number 1, and consistently in the top 3 in performance. I helped our staff take accountability for the care experience we provide our patients by changing how they operated in 2 separate silos, as a mammogram department and an ultrasound department, to operating as 1 department, serving 1 breast imaging patient. I believe my experience and leadership skills in the field of medicine parallels the leadership skills needed in the educational system that will help the Dublin Unified School District stabilize, unify, and thrive. When asked why voters should trust me with what might be life or death decisions, I would share that as a physician that received training from prestigious academic centers, including the University of Michigan, UCLA, and Stanford, my ability to matriculate into these schools and successfully complete training speaks to my ability to perform under pressure, making life and death decisions, especially during the intense 10 years of medical training. Additionally, I'm a general radiologist and a breast imaging specialist. It is my role to diagnose disease in hundreds of patients daily, to make critical decisions regarding the need for emergent interventions or follow-up care, to decide if something looks cancerous and a biopsy is needed, or if we wait on biopsy and follow something closely. I make life-altering decisions on a daily basis, and I am humbled and grateful to say that in all of my years of practice so far, knock on wood, I have never been sued and I have had zero issues with my medical license, which I think speaks to my capability to carry out the ability to make difficult decisions well. My work in the medical field translates to the educational realm. The way that I make difficult decisions at work based on objective information is the same way that decisions need to be made in the educational system, especially during this pandemic. Furthermore, the fact that I've worked through the pandemic, seeing patients from the moment we entered shelter in place, I know that the information in the media is not always directly correlating to the information that we have in the medical setting. Being immersed in the medical field gives me firsthand insight for how execution of tasks should be conducted. I have always been a doer. When I see opportunities
1 minute remains
for improvement, I am the one who identifies the problems, assesses the situation using some form of process improvement analysis, and then presents solutions. I don't stop there. I like to be hands-on, engaged in being a part of the solution to see things all the way through to success. I ask that you not pull me from consent, because if you do, you take away the opportunity for a woman of color and true diversity on this school board. Dublin is changing, and the board should reflect the city members to allow diversity in thought, diversity in experience, and diversity in lenses. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. And in regards to Prop 16, there are people opposing this bill for fear of being discriminated against. This bill is not to advocate for discrimination. Anti-discrimination laws remain in place. This bill is to ensure that oppressed groups are given a fair shot at opportunities in a system that is built against them. The COVID-19 pandemic has intensified public attention to the unequal vulnerability of Indigenous and Black people and amplified other racialized inequalities inherent in society. In the healthcare realm, there are mountains of research for decades cataloging the complex and widespread effects of racism. Just to name a few, Black people are more likely than white people to die from cancer. They are more likely to suffer from chronic pain, diabetes, and depression. Black children report higher levels of stress. Black mothers are more likely to die in childbirth. These effects stretch back centuries and take different forms, from discriminatory diagnostics to institutional barriers to care, all of which affect a person's health. Improvements have been made, but many disparities persist unchecked. The disproportionate death rate of people of color from COVID has exploited this persistent disparity and has led to it being declared a public health crisis in June 2020. Systemic racism also persists in the form of redlining to prevent minority groups from getting business loans or homes in certain pre-designated areas, the school-to-prison pipeline for children of color, and the ceiling and upward mobility into leadership roles in the workplace or a seat at the boardroom table. This is why affirmative action needs to be reinstated to ensure that everyone has a fair shot and that the systems that have been clearly proven to put certain groups of people at a disadvantage are dismantled. The true test if someone supports equality is if they are willing to sacrifice to ensure equity for all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Wow, that was great. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Dawn.
Thank you, Dr. Dawn. Thank you.